Welcome to Frontline Focus, the podcast where we bring you inside RevForce, sharing stories, insights, and the real-life experiences of our team out there making an impact every day. I'm your host, Chantel. And if you didn't know, in addition, we are bringing on our conversations with partnered business owners. So these are the founders, the leaders that are out there with grit, scaling systems, teaming up with RevForce to make it happen. So today we are sitting down with Richard Mawer, and he is the founder of Ignite Growth Consulting and Leadnamic Software Agency. With over 25 years of experience in growing businesses past 1 million mark, Richard is a small business growth expert. He's a speaker, a coach, and an author of amazing bestseller book, Remarkable Business Growth. And we'll talk to him about his business, the systems behind his sustainable growth, and how RevForce fits into the bigger picture of that. So let's dive in. Richard, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Chantel. Nice to be here.
Yes, we are so excited to have you on. As you know, we love on our small business developers and we love the partnerships. So it's definitely exciting to have you here and get you to be a part of the podcast.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. No, I've known RevForce for a number of years now, so it's good to be able to give back to it.
Yeah, absolutely. We love having everybody on and just kind of starting to dig into all of our clients and past partners. It's just great. So I want to kick things off a little bit. We want to start with your story. What led you into the small business growth, and how did Ignite Growth and Leadnamic come into life?
Yeah, so I've always been self-employed, always had my own businesses. I've never really been an employee. So I think in 27 years, I've had 8 businesses. And that's really meant that I can really relate to the challenges small business owners go through. You know, those early years, startup years are all full of excitement. And then you hit the grind of growing organically. And then you want to kick on and grow a bigger business and build your team and the challenges that brings in. So I think I've got a very good rounded experience of different areas of small business. I then ran a digital agency on the university here in Lincoln in the UK. Ran a digital agency for 7 years. We became HubSpot agency. So we would go over to Dublin to the European head office of HubSpot and do our training. And that really brought me into sort of the digital world as far as running an agency was concerned. I sold that in 2022, sort of semi-retired, and wrote my book, Remarkable Business Growth, got that to #1 in Amazon, and was sort of semi-retiring. I really thought I'll just do a bit of consultancy work, help other people grow their businesses. So my goal really was just to take on 3 businesses a year. I was probably, because of my book, getting approached by 15 to 20, so it meant I could be very selective on who I wanted to work with. I set up accelerators around the UK for small businesses. So I'd run a 6-week accelerator with 12 businesses on it and share what I shared in the book effectively of how to put in place the right strategy, the right process, and the right systems, which is mainly technology, to grow their businesses. HubSpot, as we all know, got more and more expensive. So even though I talk HubSpot a lot in my first book, I realized that for most business owners, it's just out of reach now for small business owners. So that's when I started looking around at Go High Level, obviously developing a software that I could then use with my clients in a more effective way. And that obviously brought me into contact with Mike and your team.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing all of that. I know that with all of one, I like that you say that you're semi-retired. So that's always fun, right? Because as entrepreneurs, we're never retired. Like we
never retired. No.
Think just go off and be like, oh, I've done my work. I've done the hustle. I'm going to just do some leisurely consulting. And then we find out, we can't, but still we can't keep, we want to keep developing, keep growing. So one, I love that you brought that in because it goes to show like that stays true. We have to constantly be doing something still.
It's in your blood. It's in your blood. You can't really retire once you're a proper entrepreneur. It's just there.
Yeah. And also it speaks to like, right, you've helped so many companies and so many people. So it just kind of like, you kind of got to go off of that. You got to keep leading off of that. And that actually implements into other businesses or ventures that you start, right? Because you have that big, huge following, especially with your book that you're promoting right now on Amazon. Like that creates a great following. So you're able to help these businesses with such an impact. It's so amazing. I really enjoyed that. Like I said, you've helped countless founders across that 1 million mark. What do you
Yeah.
believe are some non-negotiables every small business need to scale?
Yeah, it's definitely, as I say, getting them thinking strategically rather than tactically. We all are very busy people. We get to work. We tend to work day in, day out, really. There's a lot of tactical work going on, but very few business owners step back from the business and think strategically about how they're going to grow that business. They've probably got so far through hard work and grind, as we all do. And then you have a pause and you need to really think, what is my best customer looking like? You've got a lot of data after the first 2 or 3 years in a business. So when I work with clients, I tend to spend at least 3 months just mapping out their growth strategy. I'll understand what their revenue goals are. I want to get really specific with where they want to be in 12 months' time, in 2 years, in 3 years' time. And then we'll sort of reverse engineer that with how many customers they need, how many orders they need, how many leads they need to generate, what's their conversion. So you can really be very predictable with a strategy. And then I try and get them really niching down. As we all know, there's no point going broad anymore in the world because you look like a generalist. I always say in my book, got to be seen as a specialist. The only
Yeah.
people that can command the money you want to charge are specialists and experts now. Generalists, especially with AI, generalists are going to die because, we can get a lot of I say to a lot of my agency friends, focus on outcomes, not output, because
Yeah.
output is going to be, anyone can get output now. Already with AI, we can get output.
Mhm.
But I said, if you switch your focus to, we do these outcomes for this specific person really well, and we do it better than anybody else, then you attract the right people. And that's, I think that's the non-negotiable. It is be really good going deep and narrow in sectors and understand them better than they understand themselves. And that's where AI now, if you do any persona work, you can go so deep. And that's what I do with my clients, and that's really why we're starting to develop our software as we're developing it, because I want to transfer that into a piece of software that can help them know the questions, the pains these people have, the problems they have, the mistakes they're making, and what their payoffs are, what those outcomes are that their audience is looking for. If you get that right, there's not much else goes wrong in business. You attract the right people into your ecosystem. You engage with them in the right way. Those sales conversations become very natural. They're not forced. You're really helping people constantly to just achieve what they want to achieve. And if you can
Yeah.
get to that point in business.
Yeah. And I totally see how, you and Mike connected and you guys were able to start building off because your vision and like what you're saying, like be a specialist, don't be a generalist, know how to help your clients based off their pain points, know how to infiltrate that sector for them and start building upon it. That's totally in line with our company, right? Like we're the same way. Like
Yes.
it's full stack operators that don't just just fix the problems, right? They're not just coming in here and being told what to do. They go in and they actually infiltrate and they get into all of the pain points and see how everything needs to be built. And then also what it takes to build it. Don't get told what to do. We tell everybody what they should do, right? So like that's
Yeah.
so needed in this industry of people, they need a partnership. They need somebody to come and say, hey, we can help you from start to finish because we know what you
Yeah.
need based off of just your one business plan, right? So
Yeah.
that's amazing. I can totally see why Mike was like, yep, I'm definitely on board with this guy. So just going into the next question, what inspired the Leadnamic? I know you talked a little bit about it, but like, how does that connect to your mission for helping small business owners with growth and confidence? Like, what was that inspiration a little bit deeper?
Yeah, well, as I say, I've got lead with a back end from GHL. That was what we used originally, just got the SaaS license like a lot of agencies, and it was really to help my clients. And then I met a guy in Malaysia who's a coder. He's really into the AI world out there. He goes to a lot of these 24-hour hackathons.
Oh,
So Chris and I were sort of working. He goes to open AI hackathons out there, whether there's 1,000 coders given a job to do in 24 hours. And so
that
Chris
is
was sort of a
awesome.
real, yeah, he was a next level thinker that I said to him, I want to develop the next piece of business growth software for small businesses that at the front end has that understanding that ChatGPT projects has. So if the more you feed into it about your business, the more it understands you. And I said, and my vision really is to every small business has a bespoke technology stack built for them. So instead of out of the box, here's all the tools we can give you, you pay for our software. It's right, answer these questions. So like I do with a client, scan your website, understand what your business does, what sector you're in. Are you B2B, B2C? How many employees do you have? What's your goal? And then really once AI has that understanding, it then selects the tools you need for your business from basically
Oh,
building
that's
6 modules of tools.
amazing.
So it's AI native. It's not AI additive as a lot of software is. We've seen it with GHL. Everybody's adding AI into their ecosystem. This is built from the ground up on AI to understand your business first, then give you a tailored suite of tools that just your business needs. Nobody
Perfect.
else will have the same tools as you. And then we're building 6 agentic AI agents at a very high level, have done. We're building an admin agent to save you 2 hours a day. We're building a mini me in there. So there's a mini growth strategist who constantly pulls you back to growth, to thinking about your strategic thinking on your business growth. And there's a marketing agent, a sales agent, there's a support and service agent, and then there's a data analyst. So someone to pull all this data together and just produce meaningful reports and metrics. So we think with those 3 elements, it's going to be flipping software on its head, really, because it's going to be all about about the end user. Like we've always said, we can focus on that end user. It's a very different thing you're producing rather than building a piece of software that you hope fits people. And even with HubSpot, I found it with GHL, I found it with Salesforce when I've used it, Monday.com. Anything I've used, ActiveCampaign, you buy a piece of software, then you try and fit it to your business. And to me, AI flips that round. We can actually have a piece of software that every business owner, every small business owner, and at a price point that small business owners can afford. They can't afford $1,500 a month for a HubSpot portal or $2,000 for Salesforce. They just can't afford it. So
Yeah. I love that you are actually serving that small business community, right? Like understanding, like these are people that are maybe just getting a start, maybe just, maybe they've been in it for a while and the economy has taken a hit and they're trying to stay relevant. They're trying to stay ahead of the game, but at the same time, like, man, like we got to be able to service our clients and pay for all of this. This is a lot. And I also like the idea of the mini you. Like, I think people used to get so freaked out. We're like, oh, cloning is going to happen. Like, next thing you know, somebody doesn't clone you. And I don't think anybody foresaw, oh, we're going to clone you, but it's going to be like a little like person inside a computer, but it's going to be us, right? Like, that is so amazing because you have so much just experience and knowledge and wisdom, right, that you can implement in this AI system. And you can
think about custom GPT, that's what you do. You just pour your knowledge into a custom GPT, then people can ask it questions. So it's not much away from that.
Yes, I know. I love it. Little mini version of you. That's awesome. So I want to know a little bit more about how you got connected with Mike. Like, right. So how did you find RevForce and how has working with him played into supporting the growth of your business?
Yeah, well, Mike was introduced to me by Sean Gray from Go High Level. Sean, as you know, is really active in the community. He'll always chat to you. And I was having a bit of an issue with one of my clients, trying to get GHL working in a certain way for them. So Sean recommended Mike. He obviously, I think it was the last 3 years ago after the summit, he said, "Oh, have a word with Mike. I think he's just who you need." Because I said, I really, my strength is being front end, working with clients. I don't all the techie stuff in the back end. I've done HubSpot. I can build out a system, but if I come across an integration I need or some specific API I want to feed in, I said I really need a tech team behind me who can do that. So that was the conversation I initially had with Mike. Are you happy to fill that role so that if I have any sort of challenges like that, would you be able to step in and just be my tech team?
Yeah, that's awesome. And he makes it happen. I love Mike. He's always on it. He's super organized. Sometimes that's why we call him Commander, because he keeps all of us in line. That's awesome that you got connected with him. How great. So if you could give or leave one piece of advice for any fellow founder who's stuck in the hustle and are trying to scale, what would that be?
Yeah, it'd be back to strategy. Just try and step out of your business for half a day every week and think strategically about it, it'll be a game changer. It really will change how you look at your business. It'll stop you getting tunnel vision and just focusing on doing the work. I think especially agency founders, if you're running an agency, it's very easy to do the work every day because your clients will be swamping you with it. To change that view of how do I grow this agency? How do I add the right team to it? And also how do I really become an expert in AI in helping people either save time, increase productivity, or spot new opportunities? Because I think most agencies will be either pivoting now or will pivot that way, because the old days of creating content of output again it won't be here in 6 months, a year's time. So, I've said to all my agency friends, just pivot how you help businesses. They'll still need help, but most of them are struggling to know where to get started with AI. And I said, if you focus on just saving them a bit of time, helping them increase productivity in certain areas of their business, and then helping them spot new opportunities or create opportunities, you can't go far wrong, really.
Yeah, that is so helpful. And what a great piece of information for sure. So I just want to thank you for popping on here, taking some time out of your day. Our viewers don't know, but you're from the UK. So time
I
difference,
am.
big time difference for us. And I'm just so appreciative that you could come on, share about your business, share about the impact that you're making for all of our clients, our small businesses out there. I really appreciate it, Richard.
Okay, thanks. And anyone wants to connect with me, it's Richard Mawer on LinkedIn. Just reach out, connect with me, say you saw me on here, and I'll happily chat to anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And we will go ahead and there will be a link with your information as well, so anyone can reach out. So that's a wrap on this episode of Frontline Focus, you guys. We hope you enjoyed getting to know Richard, hearing how he's helping small businesses scale with intention and clarity. And if you're looking for building real systems, gaining expert support, or stepping into the next level of growth, hit up RevForce. We're here for you. And because with RevForce, your milestone is our mission. We'll see you on the front line.